You're a student and you're looking to study but also earn a little extra income. Here are some side hustles and online things that you can do to make some money while you're a student.
Research assistant. So the first example here is this guy called 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗲𝗀. So this guy was a student in a PhD program and managed to land a job as Mark Manson's research assistant. And here's a clip where he talks about how he did it.
I was in my PhD program. I was taking this class that was really, really hard. I'd sat down for a study session with a group of students, and we were waiting on a few people, so I just decided I'm gonna pop open my laptop and see what Mark's been up to, because I hadn't checked in for a little while. And right there, it's big letters, "I'm hiring." And my heart just jumps right up into my throat. I'm like, oh, he's hiring again, what? And I read the description and it's like, I need somebody who can research, I need somebody who can write, I need somebody who is a self-starter, and everything. I'm just like, oh, this is too good to be true.
Wow.
It can't be, at that point.
Similarly, there's a friend of ours called Billy Oppenheimer, who is Ryan Holiday's research assistant, and he landed that gig through a cold email. This is the cold email that Billy sent to Ryan to land that job. Now, I'd recommend you pause the video and read this in its entirety, because there are a lot of lessons you can learn from this cold email about how to send a good cold email. And this email just makes it so easy for someone like Ryan Holiday to say yes. And Billy has been working with Ryan for I don't know how long, but it's been quite a while. And similarly, we've got people who do this sort of research assistant-y type stuff on our team. We've got Ines, we've got Alex, we've got Mike. They do a few different things, but essentially any big content creator, and especially any author who writes multiple books, will always need some sort of help when it comes to research. So if you are the sort of person who can research on the internet, who enjoys reading books, who enjoys reading scientific articles, can understand them, can tease out insights from them, that is an incredibly high value skill, which you can provide as a service to people who are very willing and very able and very delighted to pay for that service.
Editing videos. The demand for videos is super high right now, and there aren't very many good editors out there. For our channel at 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀, we've gone through about 15 to 20 video editors who have done projects at various times. And from my experience, a decent video editor can charge about $300 to $500 per long form YouTube video, and a reasonable turnaround time is about 1 video per week. So you could stand to make an extra $2,000 per month if you take this side hustle seriously. And that's actually what we've paid our previous video editors. But right now, there is a boom of demand for short form video content as well. You can also leverage AI to edit faster. You can even edit on your phone or on the go, like during commutes if you wanted to. And again, you can find free tutorials on how to become a better editor all over YouTube. I mean, nowadays, you don't even need to pay for an editing program because there are so many free options to choose from. You can start getting paid on websites like Fiverr, Upwork, or YouTube Jobs. You can use Twitter, LinkedIn, but I think the best way to get started is to think of a creator that you like, maybe someone you subscribe to, and just ask them directly that you want to be their editor. Now, we get a lot of emails from people wanting to edit for our channel. And let me tell you, if you have the following in your message, you're much more likely to get a response. So let's say I wanted to edit videos for someone big, like 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗲𝗀. I'd say something like, hey, what's up, Graham? I took the initiative and edited one of your YouTube videos completely. And I also went ahead and chopped it into 3 engaging shorts. So feel free to use them and save yourself some time. If you like my work, then let's talk. If you didn't like it, then I would love to know why so that I can improve. I've been following you for years, and one day I want to be just like you. Okay, thanks, bye. And you can share your price if you want. You can put a Zoom link to book a call if you want. But the main thing is that you got to put a little bit of effort up front and do a little bit of free work to show them that you're actually committed. And a pro tip here is that I would send them your video published on YouTube, because you can actually see if they've watched it or not. And you can even see where in the video they've stopped watching or what parts are most watched. That way, at least you have some data on how to improve if you don't get a reply. Now, here's another pro tip that most people don't realize, and it's that you should edit videos for big creators and build up a portfolio. This is what we talk about in Focus Quest. If 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗲𝗀 didn't reply, then at least now I have a video that I've already finished editing for Graham, and I can use it to reach out to other big creators and show them Graham's video in addition to theirs. And over time, you start to build up this portfolio of work, and eventually one of these creators is going to watch your video and see all the other videos that you've accrued on your channel channel, and this will make it way easier for you to get attention. Now, having knowledge about editing or just video in general is a future-proof skill. If you want to someday become a content creator or a YouTuber, then you already have the skill. That's what I did. I was actually editing videos since I was growing up, so becoming a YouTuber was easier for me. If you want to eventually hire other editors to work for you and you want to grow out a small editing business, you can also do that too.
The next side hustle that I really recommend for college students is trying out photography or videography. Now, when I was at UCLA, this is what I did, and this is really what got me by. Instead of working a lot of hours for like $10 to $15 an hour, instead I'd make $50 to $200 per hour doing photography or video, and that basically paid for all of my bills and fun spending money. Yes, this is a skill that does take some time to learn, but photography and video, it's not actually as hard as you might think, and you can learn so much just by yourself online and watching videos. Yes, this does cost a little bit more money to actually get the equipment, but spending a few $100s on a camera and a lens can easily turn into tens of thousands of dollars of income. The great thing about being on college is that there are so many different student groups, and the majority of these student groups are going to want photographs of the group members. So if you're social, if you know people, you can easily get a lot of these groups as your clients, and from there on, everyone in that group is going to know you as a photographer or a videographer. They'll come to you for other shoots like grad shoots, sorority shoots, fraternity shoots, stuff like that. Yes, it is a little bit hard to get started, but once you get your first few clients, I guarantee you this is going to become one of the best side hustles you can do in college. When done right, you should easily be able to make $50, $100, even $200 per hour doing this. I also recommend posting on Craigslist as well as Facebook groups. But yeah, the main thing is get your first clients, maybe do a free or very discounted shoot for them, start building your portfolio, get better at photography or video, and then focus on doing portraits for student groups. This is where the money's at because people are willing to pay money for photographs of themselves. And without doubt, this can easily turn into one of the best side hustles you can do on campus.
The next online side business for you to consider is to be a social media manager. If you're watching this video right now, you probably know social media to some extent, or you have the capacity to learn more about social media. And honestly, social media is like not that hard to learn. You just use it yourself, and then that's basically how you learn. And I actually have a lot of friends who started their first ever business this way. They themselves use social media, and when they network, or maybe when they met other people, they found companies or small businesses who really struggled with their social media presence. And then they were able to offer services like creating Instagram posts and writing the captions for these small businesses. If you have some imposter syndrome and you're not sure if you can actually manage someone else's social media account, if you right now are a Gen Z or millennial watching, by the way, I know what age you guys are because I can see in my YouTube analytics, you're actually so ahead of so many people and businesses who don't really know about social media just because you grew up in the tech age. One important thing about being a social media manager is that you really need to be on top of these social media trends these days. They're always changing, as you guys all know. So you can educate your clients and get your clients the best results. You can definitely learn trends from following marketing, YouTube channels, or influencers, but a lot of the times the trends that they're sharing are based on just what they see and not based on hard data. So that's why resources like HubSpot's 2023 State of Marketing Report are so helpful.
AI animation. This is Mercy. He's responsible for all the animations you see on my channel, and he's making $8,000 to $10,000 per month creating these for multiple clients. This side hustle is really interesting as AI is the biggest thing to happen to technology since the internet. Just think how many billionaires that created. Despite the ongoing buzz, you might be surprised how few businesses have actually begun to use it. You see, there are 5 stages to technology adoption, and they look like this. First, you have the early innovators, which make up 2.5% of the people. They are the people that are willing to take a risk and go against the grain. They'd go out and buy the Samsung Fold or the new Apple Vision Pro on its first initial release. Second, we have the early adopters, making up 13.5% of the population. Similar to innovators, they're willing to take a risk. However, they prefer to test the product before forming an opinion and recommending it to others. Thirdly, we have the early majority, which is 34% of the population. These are the people that look at the product reviews before making a purchase. They want to see proof of it working before committing to it. This is the line where I believe we currently are with AI, at the very first stage of early majority adoption. This is followed by the late majority, making up another 34%, and finally the laggards, which is a surprising 16%. When you get to my age, you'll find that most people are in the laggards category. They like sticking with what they know and they really don't want to learn anything new. Now, here's the important thing. Whether you like it or not, AI will go through this cycle. So let me ask you this very simple question. Would you rather embrace it now or wait for everyone else to get the benefits and end up having to use it anyway? There are so many creative ways to use AI, but let's go back to Mercy for a solid example. He uses tools like ChatGPT to help him script ideas out and then uses Midjourney to bring his ideas to life. Let's get into the ratings. I'd give this a 4 out of 5. Although AI can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, Mercy still devoted months to mastering top-notch animation skills, which helped him land clients and build relationships to keep the cash flowing in. So I'd recommend mastering the core principles of animation and actively participating in industry networks to keep refining your skills. Secondly, how much money do you need? I'd give this a 1 out of 5. Because we're at an early stage in the adoption curve, it doesn't take a lot of expensive tools to stand out. When Mercy first started his side hustle, he managed to get featured on Andrew Tate's Instagram story because of some AI artwork he created. This gave him all the free promotion he needed to build a strong client base. This just shows that you don't need a lot of cash right now to make an impact. Thirdly, how easy is it to make $1,000 per month? I'd give this a 2 out of 5. As online creators are getting more and more popular, there is more money flooding into the space. Creators want to stand out, and by adding animations, it's a great way to make their videos look more premium and engaging. So get started now and get so far ahead that the late adopters can never catch you.
A remote sales rep. It's one of the new fads in the world of making money on the internet, but it's actually pretty legit. The idea behind being a remote sales rep is that there are lots of companies out there who need someone on Zoom calls and on the phone to be able to sell their product to their customers. And if you can be the person to field those phone calls or those Zoom calls, to be able to talk to customers, to be able to talk them through the process and educate them on whether the product is right for them, then every time you sell the product, you'll get some kind of commission on that product. That is what a remote sales rep does. And this is a great example of this guy, 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗲𝗀, I don't know how you pronounce that. And this guy was a 20-year-old student in the Netherlands who tweeted at Sean Puri, basically giving him some free thumbnail advice. And then Sean loved the free value that he provided, so he offered him an internship with his company. And now this guy sells ads for Milk Road Daily and has sold $250,000 worth of ads in 60 days while studying full time. He's basically being a remote sales rep. This isn't really a traditional remote sales rep job, but it's close enough, so we're using it as an example, and also because he's talked about his story, which is just a cool example. But essentially, he's selling all these sponsorships on this newsletter, and he probably gets a cut of some of the sponsors that he sells. So if you're the sort of person who enjoys talking to people, if you like the idea of like picking up the phone or going on Zoom calls and selling things to people, and you think that you might be good at that, you can make tons and tons of money as a remote sales rep. And this video is not going to teach you how to do it. There are lots of other videos on YouTube where people specialize in being remote sales reps and actually teach you the ins and outs of how to do it. But it's an interesting way of making money if you think that you might enjoy that sort of thing.
The next side hustle idea is something you can start as a student with no money, and that is to be a tutor. If you're well versed in a particular subject, then you can teach that to someone else, right? You can teach math, history, science, you name it. But I think a better approach here would be to niche down to something very specific. For example, being a personal tutor to help a pre-med student score high on the MCAT. Now, here's a pro tip. I would record all of your best tutoring sessions so that you can use that material to build an online course. Now, I know that online courses have a certain reputation, right? It's not always positive. And one of the reasons is because people sell courses on things that they themselves have not achieved. But if you put in the work and get really good at your subject and you have the recordings to prove it, then you have way more credibility that you can actually get the results for your students. And parents will pay decent money for their kids' education if you have the results to back it up. For case studies, I would check out our course, StudyQuest. This is exactly how we did it. You can also start tutoring others through sites like tutorme.com, studypool.com, tutor.com. You can tutor calculus, Python. There's like 300 or so subjects on these sites.
The next online side business idea is something I actually talk a lot on my channel, and that is selling digital downloads. Specifically for me, I sell it on Etsy. I know print on demand is also really popular right now, but I haven't done print on demand, so I can't comment on that, but I'll talk about the digital downloads on Etsy part. Compared to the other online side hustles that I mentioned in this video, selling digital downloads is more of like a passive income stream, but I would say it's still hard to make it like truly passive. Like for me, for my Etsy shop, it's still not passive. Like I still need to upload a lot of listings all the time. But it's great to start off because you don't have to talk to people. Like you don't have to have meetings with people. You don't need to do like tutoring or coaching sessions or work with different kinds of clients and work with people. You literally can sit in front of your computer all day and work on this side business, which is why I think a lot of people find this kind of a side business selling digital downloads so attractive. But I will say, compared to the other side hustles, like the more service-based ones and teaching ones, this one is harder to make money in the beginning because let's say you're selling a digital product, maybe it's $10, $20, $30, or even $50. It's going to take you some time to be able to make consistent, sustainable income with that. Because most of the time, the thing you're selling is like $20. It's not like $500 or $100.
So the next one on the list is one that I do hear a lot of people talking about, but it's honestly such a good one that I wanted to mention it in this video. And that is pet sitting or house sitting. So this is one that's pretty self-explanatory. Somebody goes out of town and they need somebody to take care of their house and their pets. And you might do some really basic things like just making sure that the pool filter gets changed or something along those lines. And if you're a student that's going to be studying anyways during that time, this might be a phenomenal option for you because you can just go to their house, take care of it, and study while you're there. So rover.com is a really good option for finding gigs like this. I think you also have this option on TaskRabbit. But yeah, this is another one where people out there that made like multi-six-figure businesses by becoming dog walkers, taking care of people's houses, and taking care of their pets. The next one on the list is one that I did for years, and I believe this is actually the first way that I ever made money, and that is flipping items. Okay, so this is probably the oldest business in all of human history, and that is you find an item, you buy it for a certain amount of money, and then you flip it, you sell it for more. So I did this for years. I did it with a bunch of different items, phones, iPods, iPads, bikes. I would find a really good deal at a garage sale or Craigslist, or sometimes people would just like throw TVs away, and then I would buy it or I'd collect it and I'd sell it for sometimes double, triple, or quadruple the money. There was one time I bought a car for $600 and I ended up flipping it for over $2,000. So yeah, I think this one is pretty self-explanatory. There's entire websites and YouTube channels dedicated to teaching you how to do this. This is one of those skills that's never gonna go away. It's highly recommended that you find a niche, something that you're really good at and you're really knowledgeable about, and then just buy and sell things. And in terms of how much you can make with this one, it really varies, but you could probably make well over $30 to $50 an hour.